Hi guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different in the sense that it's not really going to be beauty related. With the new year coming up, I just really wanted to sit down and chat with you guys and talk about kind of New Year's goals and resolutions, because at the end of every single year, everyone decides they're going to lose 30 pounds and, fall madly in love and strengthen every relationship in their entire life. And I was one of those people who I've always liked to kind of like start fresh on the new year and make resolutions and goals for myself. But what I want to talk about today is kind of a plan, and I've been following this plan for the last year. I kind of fell off the bandwagon a little bit and I want to stick to it a lot more religiously this year. And it's kind of how to take your goals, take the things that you want to accomplish, within your life, within the next year, whatever, and make them attainable and put it in to a plan that, isn't like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds a week or something like that. It's like taking baby steps to really accomplish what you want to. And so I'm going to kind of go through it with you guys and talk about some of my tips and tricks, and then what my personal goals are this year, just so you guys can see. And yeah, let's just get started. So you'll have to forgive me if I kind of look down from time to time, but I have like everything in a Word document and I have it on my phone, so I'm just going to be reading it off to you. And my first kind of suggestion for those of you who, you want to start fresh within the new year, you want to set some goals and some attainable ideals for yourself, I think the first thing to do is kind of sit down and think about things in categories. And I kind of took this from Nikki Philippi. She posted a video like last year on kind of, New Year's resolutions and stuff. And I kind of took this idea from her that if you divide things into categories, it just makes it a lot more streamlined, and it's a little bit easier to think about than like going through things like, I want to lose weight and, I want to meet Prince Charming, and like everything's just jumbled. This is a lot easier to kind of keep things in order. And I think that a great number to start with is 5. And I'm only going to be reading off 3 of mine today just because I didn't want this video to be too long. So for categories, I put down relationships, health and fitness, and career/work. So within those categories that you choose, I want you to sit down and really think about this, because these things should be kind of like second nature to you. So they should be things that you just really want out of the year, or you really want out of life. So, think within the categories. For relationships, I have down, be a better daughter to my parents, be a better sister, be a better friend, show Tyler how much I love him, be a better mother to my fur babies, and strengthen my relationship with God. Then in health and fitness, I have become more toned and athletic, eat healthier, be less crippled by anxiety and depression. I think that it's really important, especially like in health and fitness, if you plan on like losing weight within the new year, don't really put down like losing weight or I want to lose like 50 pounds. Put down something attainable, like becoming healthier, becoming more toned, just changing your life for the better, because it's not about like the poundage, if you kind of understand what I mean. So, okay. And then the next category is career/work. And I mostly put down YouTube things, and they are grow my channel through networking, put out quality videos 6 days a week, start my modeling career, write another novel, and earn money so I can continue to work on YouTube. So I really like at this point is when, you got to take a little bit of time to brainstorm. And my list took me about 2 hours to kind of like, I had to take some time while I was drinking my coffee and just really think about what it was that I wanted out of the year, and really think about why it is that you want those things out of your life. So, I want to start modeling, and that's not just because, oh, I'm so vain and I think I'm hot shit, but like, I want to be a plus size model to not only, better my own kind of outlook on myself, but also to inspire other women who are plus size and curvier, not to think that they have to be a certain size in order to feel beautiful. That one's kind of sappy, but just kind of an explanation. So, okay, I really want you to like sit down, think about, what it is that you want, why it is you want it. So now you've got your categories, you've got kind of things within those categories, and now that you've got your different goals, being a better daughter, being healthier, what have you, we're going to take it a step further. And this is kind of where it gets tricky, and it's got to be a little bit personal. And I really, really strongly advise you not to start out too, I strongly advise not to get too excitable at this point, and to really take these one baby step at a time. So I'm going to start off with let's start off with relationships because that's probably where this is easiest. So in relationships, I want to be a better daughter to my parents. So how I'm going to do that is through steps that I can take daily or weekly. Right on my list, I wrote down daily and weekly kind of things that I can do in order to make myself into a better daughter. So in order to do that, I want to call my parents at least 3 times a week. And I know that that sounds kind of silly, but I live in Kansas, and honestly, we don't, you know, we don't talk quite as much as we did obviously when I lived at home, and sometimes I get stressed out and I don't necessarily want to talk to them every single day. So I think 3 times a day is, 3 times a week is a good number. And then I have down text them once a day because my dad likes to think if I don't text him within 24 hours, I've fallen off the face of the planet. And then for the last thing, and this kind of applies to a lot of my following kind of relationships, I put down take 1 step each day towards going back home to see them. So that can be something as simple as like putting $1 into my savings account so that I can, you know, afford gas to like go home and see my family. It can be researching plane tickets or just something really, really simple like that so that I feel like I'm actively every single day, you know, it doesn't feel like the next trip home is like so far away because, you know, I'm taking baby steps to get there. So next is be a better sister, and for that I kind of have something similar. It's texting my brother once a day and calling him at least once a week. He is a little bit younger than me, so we don't necessarily talk as much, but I really, you know, I want to be closer with him. And then I have down be a better friend, and my 3 best friends I said to text Hannah, Zach, and Evan daily just to say hi. And I think that that's really, really easy, just to let them know, like, hey, like, I care about your day. What are you doing? You know, whatever. And then I have Skype calls with Hannah and Zach once a week. Evan and I don't Skype that much, but, you know, it's just kind of something I want to keep up with because I'm really bad about, like, Skyping. I get really lazy, but I think it's really fun. Like, last night, Hannah and I Skyped for, like, 2 hours, so... Okay, then I have reach out to at least 2 friends on Facebook a week. And these can be people that I've kind of lost contact with. So like my friends from church, my friends from school. I think 2 friends a week is a great number because it kind of keeps me in contact with the people that maybe I haven't spoken to that much. It keeps me in the loop and I don't feel like I'm overbearing anyone. So if that makes any sense, you know, that's just kind of my personal number, and like you could do more, you could do less. I just think that these are really easy goals to start out with. So then I have down show Tyler how much I love him, and it's just kind of like silly little things. And for mine, I have down make coffee every work day while he's at PT because he goes to PT in the morning and he usually likes to come home to coffee. So I thought that just having a pot ready for him would be sweet. So next I have something kind of silly, and I have like a whole section on my personal list for like keeping my house clean, but I put down to pick up 1 room every day for 5 minutes. So that can be something as simple as like maybe, I don't know, picking up a dish like he left in the living room, or, you know, just picking up to show that like I care about him, I care about the way that our apartment looks, you know, I want the place to look nice. And like obviously I want to be clean all the time, but I just think like keeping up with the clutter is a good idea, just to kind of show that I care. And that one might seem kind of silly, but I just threw it in there. And then the last thing is spend 5 minutes a day doing something with him. And again, sounds so silly, we live together, so it's like we're together every minute, but like sometimes I don't necessarily want to play video games or watch a movie or anything. You know, 5 minutes a day doing something as simple as going for a walk or cooking dinner or doing the dishes together, you know, something like that where we're together and we're talking. I just think that's a great idea. So that is everything for showing Tyler how much I love him. And then next I have be a better mother to my fur babies, and I have 2 fur babies. I have 2 cats named Luna and Ezio. I have down first take 5 minutes a day to play with Ezio. And this sounds kind of silly, but Ezio is a kitten, so he's really excitable, and sometimes like I'll look at him and he's being so destructive and crazy, and I'm like, where the heck do you get this energy from? And I realize like I've gone the entire day and I haven't even, you know, run around the house with a string or anything for him to play with. So I put that down just so like I would remember to play with him. And of course, once I get playing with him, I'll want to play with him more than 5 minutes, but at least 5 minutes a day. And then next I have down, I lost my place, oopsie. I put down take 5 minutes a day to cuddle with Luna. Luna is my older cat. She's not nearly as playful. She's almost 14 and she just obviously isn't as excitable. So I just put down that I really want to spend some quality time giving her good cuddles. And then last, I said every day scoop their litter boxes and wash out the dishes. I'm usually really good about this anyways, especially with the litter boxes, but as she's gotten older, Luna's really finicky about her, so I just want to make sure, like, I'm really challenging myself to, like, stay on top of that and make sure, like, you know, they're my fur babies, so I want them to be as comfortable as possible. And then last, in relationships, I have strengthened my relationship with God, and I kind of took this from Nikki Philippi, her video that I was talking about earlier, and I said that I want to read my Bible for at least 2 minutes a day. Just because I know that sounds like tiny, but obviously I can increase it. I just think 2 minutes a day to, like, sit down and really read my Bible is a good amount of time. Then my next one is spend at least 2 minutes every morning in prayer, and I think that the morning time is my favorite, like, time for prayer, just because, I don't know, it kind of, like, helps me reflect on the day and on yesterday and on tomorrow. So at least 2 minutes every morning in prayer. And then this one is kind of silly, and this is one where after I complete it, obviously I won't continue to do it, but every day until I find my perfect, like, church in Kansas, I want to take at least one step every single day, one step towards finding a new church. And that can be something as simple as like researching ones online, maybe calling a friend around here, seeing what church that they go to, just taking one small step every single day, because I come from an area where I went to the same church for 10 years and I knew everyone, so it's really hard for me. Like, I've attended a couple of church services since I've lived here, but it's been a year and I don't feel like I found my church, so I want to do that. And then once I find my church, I said go to service at least once a month, which I know sounds pathetic, but once a month I can do, you know, like, if I'm having a crap Sunday and I just don't want to, at least I went one time that month. And I am not the kind of person where, I don't know, I just think that setting more realistic, attainable goals for yourself is so much healthier than being like, I'm gonna go to church Wednesday and Sunday and I'm gonna read the Bible for 50 minutes every single day. You know, just making small steps like this is healthier, it's easier, and it just makes your goals so much more attainable and real. So next I have health and fitness, and in the first category I had become more toned and athletic, and under that my kind of subcategories are I have walk for 5 minutes per day. 5 minutes is nothing. I mean, and usually I'm the kind of person who's like, I need to go for a walk, and I'll, you know, go out for a 10-minute walk and it turns into a 50-minute walk. So at least 5 minutes per day is probably a good, you know, way to get myself out of the house and be like, I only have to do it for 5 minutes. And then the next one is jogging for at least 2 minutes per day. So within my walk, I'm going to jog for a minimum of 2 minutes. And it's good because sometimes I don't want to run and that 2 minutes will be over, you know, so fast, and then I can go back to walking. So then on become more toned and athletic, I have work on toning. So lifting weights, ab exercises, etc. for 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes, 3 days a week. And that is so simple. So those are kind of under my become more toned and athletic goals. And then I have eat healthier. And I kind of kept this generalized. I probably could have become a bit more specific within it, but I wanted to, again, like, keep it realistic, keep it, you know, attainable. And I put down drink 8 glasses of water per day. I'm really good about that anyways. I just, you know, I want to make sure I'm doing it. Sometimes I forget. And then I have limit myself to 1 Diet Coke per day, which is going to be so freaking hard. I love my Diet Coke. I didn't actually put on here anything about, like, limiting coffee or tea or anything. I don't know. I probably should, but okay, so 8 glasses of water, limiting self to 1 Diet Coke, and then I have eating at least 1 clean meal per day. 1, like, healthy, clean meal in a day. Even if I eat like crap at dinner or something, and I'm not saying like that'll justify me eating like crap for dinner, but that will, you know, at least I can look back and be like, well, I didn't eat like that all day or something like that, you know. I think that's really easy to do as well. And then lastly, I have eat at least 1 fresh or fruited vegetable per day, which again is something I typically do, but it's good to kind of like have it down and remind myself. Lastly, in health and fitness, I have be less crippled by anxiety and depression, and that's like something I don't want to get too personal into, but I did put down at least once per day go into public, like running errands, etc. I am really bad, and if I don't get myself out of the house, like I have the worst social anxiety. It's really crap. So that I can kind of not necessarily get used to it, but more or less I don't know, sort of season myself in it. And I know that sounds really, really weird, but if you have like social anxiety, you kind of understand that like putting yourself into social situations can be really difficult sometimes, and I just want to push myself to kind of doing that more frequently. And then I have every morning take at least 2 minutes to just breathe and visualize having a good day. And I find when I do that, I'm so much more productive, number one, and number two, it really helps with my anxiety and kind of helps to have a better outlook on the day. And then lastly in this category, I said for every panic attack that I have, write it down in your journal. Think about why it hurt so badly. So for every panic attack I have, I've done this a couple times where like when I have a panic attack in Walmart for absolutely no reason, I'll write it down and I'll look at it and I won't necessarily feel like stupid or silly. It'll just kind of help me to look at it and be like, well, that's why I was feeling like that. But it helps me to rationalize it, and maybe I won't react the same way next time, if that makes any sense. So next I have career/work, and in that I have grow my channel through networking. And this is something like, I really want to grow my YouTube channel this year. I want to focus on like really just getting my videos out there, kind of enlarging my audience and also keeping the audience that I currently have happy. So in that I put through, growing my channel through networking, I put contact 5 people per day who enjoy beauty videos and introduce them to my channel. And that's really simple. It can be someone who also makes beauty videos. It can be someone who commented on another beauty video. Anything at all. At least 5 people. That's 5 possible subscribers per day. And I think, not doing that would just be silly. And then I have take 1 step per day towards collaborating with other YouTubers. So sending a message, coming up with like collaboration ideas, just 1 step every single day is so simple. The next category is put out quality videos 6 days a week. And this is going to be like a real challenge for me, but in that I put the baby steps to be take 2 days a week and solely dedicate them to filming. And I said 2 days, but I more or less mean like 2 kind of mornings. So like when I get up until about maybe like 2 p.m. Because if I film, like 3-4 videos in a day, it's going to take me that long. So I have that down, and then I have start uploading videos the night before so that they are scheduled to go up the morning. And then the next one is starting my modeling career, and that isn't necessarily YouTube related, but it is something that I want to do. So I have down closely following my health and fitness goals, because those obviously reflect on me, physically, and if you're a model, it's all physical. So I have that. Then I have at least 3 times a week contact photographers, agencies, etc., who might be interested in working with me or who that I'm interested in working with. Then this one is kind of more of a like to-do checklist, but I have it on here, and it's finding a photographer to do updated headshots. And then the last thing is doing 1 thing per day to launch my modeling career. So that can be researching, talking to other models that I know, talking to photographers I've worked in the past, anything at all to get advice or anything to kind of launch my, modeling and stuff. And then my next goal is writing another novel, and I've actually written 2, but I want to write another one. It's been a couple years and I'm sort of like out of the game. So this one I have take 5 minutes per day, and 5 minutes is nothing to sit down and write. Just whether it's an outline or, it doesn't have to be anything. It just has to be like I have to sit down and write, and that kind of keeps my brain going. And once I always sit down, I'm going to do it for longer than 5 minutes anyways. And then I have reading writers' books at night. I have like a whole collection of books for writers and writers' workshop books, and I have that down to read at night for 5 minutes. And then lastly, I have earn more money so I can continue to work on YouTube. And this is going to sound kind of silly. I actually work as a freelancer right now, and I do like freelance writing and transcribing. So people will like send me things and like audio clips, and I'll like write them out, but it's paid per job. So I have down earn at least $10 per day, because I know that sounds like nothing at all, but if I push myself to do that, I'm pushing myself to work every single day, and that kind of keeps me in the mood to continue to like freelance and stuff. And obviously, like $10 a day is $300 per month, and it's really easy to continue with stuff like that. And I usually, I work more than that anyways, but yeah, so those are my kind of goals for 2014. I hope this was understandable and that it made sense to you guys, and it's so easy when you really sit there and you think about it. And I think for me, I kind of got into this stage last year where I was really, really depressed, and I felt like I wasn't doing anything with my life. I felt like I was accomplishing nothing. I was working towards these big dreams, these big goals, all of which I just told you. But I never felt like I was doing anything, because it was like, okay, well, it didn't happen yesterday. It's not happening today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. And I never knew which one I was working towards. So I think that this is a great way to kind of put yourself into perspective and realize that, like, you don't have to lose 30 pounds in a month, and you don't have to become a Victoria's Secret model today, but you do have to take small steps in order to become successful and in order to achieve the things that you want. This was kind of a chatty video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it made sense to you. If you have any questions, any comments, make sure to leave them below. Let's chat. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up if you do, and I will definitely do more videos like this. And subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And until my next video, I love you girls so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.